All right, buckle up, everyone, because today we are diving headfirst into a world where every millisecond counts, where like pixel perfect jumps are everything. And, those controllers you've got, well, they're about to get a workout like never before.
Huh.
We're talking speedrunning and those wild game challenges that'll make you rethink how you play.
It's amazing what people can do, right? Like speedrunning, it's not just about, beating a game. It's like you're pushing the limits of what's even possible inside the game's code and the mechanics.
It's like finding this whole secret layer of the game, right?
Yeah.
Like shortcuts and exploits even the developers probably never thought of, all just to shave off those precious seconds.
Yeah, exactly. Think about like Super Mario 64. Some speedrunners find these glitches that let them skip entire levels. I mean, they're finishing the game in like a fraction of the time it's supposed to take.
It just blows my mind. But going back a bit, didn't this all start with those hardcore players in the early days of online gaming?
Absolutely. Back when games like Doom and Quake were huge, you had players posting their fastest times on forums, always trying to beat each other's records. It was like this competitive spirit that really laid the foundation for what speedrunning is today.
And then Games Done Quick comes along and boom, it's a global phenomenon.
It is. It's like the Super Bowl of speedrunning, but with a charitable twist. I mean, these events showcase the absolute best speedrunners in the world. But what's even more incredible is they've raised millions of dollars for charities like Doctors Without Borders and the Prevent Cancer Foundation.
It's amazing how GDQ really puts speedrunning on the map, not just in the gaming world, but in the charity world too. It's definitely more than just a hobby. Okay, let's break down some terms. We've got any percent, 100%, and glitchless runs. What's the difference?
So think of them as different ways to approach speedrunning. With any percent, it's all about getting to those end credits as fast as possible, using any glitches or tricks you can find. You're basically breaking the game wide open.
Sounds chaotic.
Oh, it can be. And it takes a lot of planning. Runners map out what they call a route, which is like a super optimized path through the game. They're hitting specific glitches at the exact right time to be as efficient as possible.
It's like a science almost.
It is. Then you've got 100% where you have to complete every single thing in the game, every objective, every item, you name it. It's less about breaking the game and more about showing you've mastered every part of it.
So that takes some serious dedication then. What about glitchless runs? Those sound pretty intense.
Oh, they are. Glitchless runs are for the purists out there. It's about playing the game exactly as the developers intended, but with crazy speed and skill. You have to know the game inside and out. Enemy patterns, level design, everything. It's like pushing the limits of what a human can do within the rules of the game.
That's like playing on hard mode, but times 10. But speaking of pushing boundaries, we got to talk about those other game challenges, right? The ones that aren't just about speed.
Yeah, definitely. Beyond speedrunning, there are challenges that really test a player's patience, their skill, even their sanity sometimes. Like you have no death runs. Those are super popular for games that are already notoriously difficult, like Dark Souls or Celeste.
Oh man, those sound impossible.
Yeah.
I mean, imagine getting through those crazy levels, fighting those bosses, and knowing that if you mess up just once, you have to start the whole thing over.
It's a true test of your skill and determination. It forces you to learn every enemy pattern, perfectly master your movements. It's a completely different way to approach the game.
It really makes you appreciate the game on a whole other level.
Duh.
And what about those hard mode runs? I bet those come with some serious bragging rights.
Oh, absolutely. Hard mode runs are for players who want to really punish themselves. Imagine playing something like Cuphead. That game is already brutal on its normal setting, but on the hardest difficulty, it requires lightning-fast reflexes and a deep understanding of how everything works.
I could already hear controllers being thrown across the room.
Uh-huh.
But we can't forget those creative custom challenges, right?
Oh, those are where things get really interesting. Players create their own rules to make a game even more challenging or even just to change things up. Like some people do no weapon runs in The Legend of Zelda or pacifist runs in games that are usually all about combat.
That's amazing. It just shows how creative the gaming community can be. Even years after a game comes out, people are still finding new ways to experience it.
Exactly. It shows how much people love to play and how we're always pushing those boundaries of what's possible in these virtual worlds. So for anyone listening who's thinking, I want to try this, where do you even start?
Yeah, what advice would you give someone who wants to get into speedrunning or game challenges?
First off, pick a game you absolutely love. That passion is key. And don't get discouraged if you don't see results right away. Speedrunning is all about patience and getting better over time. Oh, and make sure to use all those amazing resources online. There are forums guides, YouTube tutorials. It's a whole community out there ready to help.
It's like this hidden world of gaming knowledge just waiting to be discovered. And it really highlights the community aspect of it all, right? It's
Mhm.
not just about individual achievements. It's about collaborating and sharing that passion with others.
Exactly. The speedrunning community is incredibly supportive and welcoming, and events like GDQ really embody that spirit. It's all about bringing people together to celebrate gaming and to do some good in the world. But that sense of community exists online every day. Runners share tips, strategies, they celebrate each other's wins. It's really something special.
Man, we covered a lot today. We went through the history of speedrunning, all those different categories, and the mind-blowing world of game challenges.
Mm.
But beyond the technical stuff, we also saw just how incredible the community is that drives all of this.
It all starts with that simple question: how fast can I beat this game? And from that question, this whole world of skill, creativity, and community has exploded. It shows how much we love to challenge ourselves, to push those limits, and to connect with other people who share our passion.
So what are you waiting for? Pick a game, set that timer, and see what you're capable of. You might surprise yourself. You might even discover something new about the game, or even about yourself. But hey, join us next time when we're going to take on one of the most challenging games to speedrun, Sekiro. Shadows die twice. Until then, keep those thumbs limber and game on.